your Vajrasattva practice book. And I'll be right back.
Oh, jeez.
101 book, if you've got, you're going to need our 101 prayer book if you've got that. And if you've got your deity yoga book, we'll need that. If you don't have that, maybe you've got the red deity yoga book. We're going to be doing the Vajrasattva practice today. So we're here in my living room, and Paula is with me, and Mark is with me, and everybody online. Thank you very much for joining us. So we'll begin by doing the opening prayers. So if we go to the altruistic motivation, whichever book you prefer to use, it's all the same. Twice in English, once in Tibet. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dagla dang war je pe dra no pa je pe ge. Tarpa dang tam shaken pe bar du jo par je pa tam shaki so je pe. Manam kadam yam pe sem chen tam she de wa dang ten. Dug now dang drel nor du la na me pa yang dag pa zog pe zhang zhu brin po she to pa zha. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Deshe du sang ma ge gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Ma she bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Du de ring ne song te ni ma sang ta sam gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities and the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities and the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Transcends awa dangur pa je pe pal den lam adam pa nam la kab su chi o. Yidam kil gorgi la sok nam la kab su chi o. Sangye chom den de nam la kab su chi o. Dam pe cho nam la kab su chi o. Papege dunam la kapsu chio. Pawo kadro cho kyung song me song yeshe gi cheng dang dem pa nam la kapsu chio. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Shang Shu Ning Po Chi Ki Ba Sangye Nam La Kapsu Chi Chodang Shang Shub Sampa Yi So Klang De Shin Kapsu Chi Jitar Nongi De Shegi Shang Shub Tugni Ki Padang Shang Shub Sampe La Pala De Dagrim Shin E Pata De Shin Dro La Pandandu Shang Shub Samni Ke Gishing De Shin Du Ni La Pala Rimpa Shindu La Pa Ji O. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye Chodang Soki Cho Nam La Shang Shu Baidu Dagni Kapsu Chi Dagi Jin Soki Pe So Nam Gi Tro La Pen Shir Sangye Ju Pa Sho. Next are the four immeasurables, I think on page 6, maybe on your book. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Anam kadam yam pesem chintam she dewa dang dewe gurdang dempa jorchi. Dugnal dang tonal gi gudang dwelwar jorchi. Dugnal me pe dewa dang mi dwelwar jorchi. Nay ring jak dang ni dang dwell way tang namla ne pa jorchi. How the 7-limb prayer. If you can recite with us, would be great.
Oh, I thought I shouldn't because.
Oh, absolutely. Please.
I can't sing, but I could try to say the words.
Okay. 7-limb prayer in English, please. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathagatas in the 10 directions, those who have already reached the Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagatas still to come. Through the power of Samantabhadra's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless bodhisattvas. Thus, all space is filled with Buddhas and bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through magnificent chanting, expressing the great ocean of their excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands, of music, anointing oils, magnificent light, and fragrant incense. I make offerings to them of fine garments, perfume, and potpourri, piled high as Mount Meru, and arranged in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to the Buddhas and make offerings to them, following the deeds of the great bodhisattvas Samantabhadra. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions, of the great bodhisattvas and pratyeka Buddhas, those who have attained arhatship, those who have entered the path to arhatship, and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest wheel of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of the beings of the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened state. I supplicate those Buddhas intending to pass into parinirvana to live long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Now the short mandala offering. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. To the lamas who possess the 3 kayas, I offer the outer, inner, and secret offerings with my body, wealth, and all that is visible. Please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om, Guru, Ratna, Mandala, Puja, Mega, Samuja, Saparana, Samaye, Ahom. In Tibet, Sashi Pochu, Jogshing Meto Tram, Rirab Linshi Nide Kampadi, Sange Shin La Mikte Poayi, Jokun Nam Dak Shindu Ke Washo, Kusom Yong Sog La Me Sog Nam La, Shi Nang Shang Sum De Shin Yiki Cho, Dagle Dong Sho Nakshi Ong She La, La Me Choki No Dru Sadhu So, Chaksa Wadang Cho Ching Sapadang, Jesu Yi Rang Ko Sing So Wai, Jewa Jong Se Dagi Ji Sak Pa, Tam Se Sok Pe Shang Jub Chino. Om, Guru, Ratna, Mandala, Puja, Mega, Samudra, Saparana, Samaye, Ahom. Supplication to Lord Jigdan Sumgön. Unequaled refuge, ornament of the world, your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor Vajradhara without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father Jigdan Sumgön. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I may realize the unelaborated nature of mine. Abjangi dome zamlingen, dragpe tong som yun la kab, so me gawa dorje chang, pa jikten gompe shaladu, du tak tu sam gyu kyo le me, Jinji lob shik tok jay chen, yingi mon pa sel ne kang, sam jojal du to par jinji lo. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination, according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings. Samchen namgi sampada lo yi je dak jitawa je chung tong mok te pa yi joki korlo kordu so. Okay, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions or comments about anything before we get started with the Vajrasattva practice? Last week we gave a brief introduction to Vajrasattva. Does anybody have any questions about the practice at all? Okay. Page 84, I think, in your book. So if you got the Deity Yoga book, it's page 84. If you have the red book, it's page 84, 85 as well. Okay, so until we become very familiar with the practice, and perhaps, once a week, once a month, however often you're doing this, to refresh your memory as to the meaning of the practice, to recite this introduction to Vajrasattva at the top of page 85 is very, very useful. So today we shall recite that. And I just want to remind you before we do that, just that the most important element of the Vajrasattva practice is developing the four powers: the power of remorse, the power of antidote, the power of resolve, and the power of reliance. So the remorse for our non-virtuous actions, whatever form they might be, actual things that we have done, thoughts that we've had, etc. The next is the antidote for those thoughts, the remedy for those thoughts. So when we talked about the five poisons, and each one had a remedy to it, an antidote to it. So to recognize what the negativity, what the non-virtue is, and then applying whatever antidotes are necessary to overcome them. And then the resolve not to continue to do this non-virtue and to make amends for what harm has been done, by confession, by going and seeking out the person you may have offended, or for your own self, that you make amends with your own self, and so on. So the resolve not to do this again. And then the fourth is the reliance on the practice to help to protect us from falling back into that non-virtue. When the circumstances may come up, the conditions, the causes may arise yet again, but we are protected from those and will not allow ourselves to fall into the negativity of those non-virtues. So we rely on the practice to keep our mindfulness focused one-pointedly on the virtuous Dharma. So these are the four powers of the Vajrasattva purification confession practice. Okay, so now we read this whole section here. Introduction to the Vajrasattva meditation practice. Generally speaking, virtuous and non-virtuous acts depend on mind. Mind is the master, and the body and speech are the servants. Driven by the power of afflictive emotions, controlled by desire, hatred, and so forth, we create non-virtues such as the 5 heinous karmas, the 5 close karmas, the 10 non-virtues, and breaking vows and samayas. It is non-virtuous if we do these things ourselves, if we ask others to do them for us, or if we rejoice when these deeds are done by others. Not only that, when the mind is under the control of desire, hatred, and so forth, we continue to create non-virtues, even if we hear, study, and practice the precious Dharma. These non-virtues will bring suffering and undesirable conditions. These non-virtues can be created when we conquer our enemies, protect our relatives and friends, defend our own body, and accumulate wealth. We leave these things behind when we face death, but the non-virtues will follow us like a shadow, life after life, and become a source of all sufferings. Therefore, it is very wise to purify all the non-virtues we create before the results arise. If we use the 4 powers, this purification can be very effective. The 4 powers are remorse, antidote, resolve, and reliance. In the Vajrayana, Vajrasattva meditation is a special practice for the purification of non-virtue. So with confidence and without hesitation, enter into the Vajrasattva practice. Have sincere remorse for evil deeds. Confess them and resolve not to create any more negative karma, even at the risk of your life. Then take refuge, cultivate the mind of enlightenment, recite the mantra, and meditate on emptiness as the antidote and reliance. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments about the introduction to Vajrasattva? Okay. And if you've got your picture card, your meditation card, it should be in front of you. Otherwise, on page 84, you've got the image of Vajrasattva. We can visualize Vajrasattva above and in front of us like this. I'm looking up and seeing the face of Vajrasattva. But as we do the practice, Vajrasattva comes and sits on the crown of our head like this. So he's facing in the same direction that we are facing. And his big toe on his right foot is on the aperture of the crown of the head, the aperture of Brahma. And that is the aperture that is the center channel that runs through the center of our body, parallel to our spine. It is about the diameter of a pencil, very thin. And our energy, our life force is moving up and down that channel. And from our navel, 4 inches below our navel, all the way up through the crown of our head. And the different chakras are along that center channel. So we'll talk about the chakras another time, but all the energy is coming and going up and down like this. So Vajrasattva, his purification, like nectar, will flow from his body down through his big toe, his right foot, big toe, into the crown of our head, into the aperture, and fill our body with pure, virtuous nectar. So this is part of the visualization of the practice. And then as we do that and become successful with that, then Vajrasattva becomes at our heart like this. And there is a hung syllable at his heart, a white hung syllable. If you look on page 88, at the bottom of the page, you see the white hung syllable. So the white hung syllable is at his heart, and now it becomes in our heart. And it's from that seed syllable, that white hung, that the light generates and goes to all beings, purifying all beings of their non-virtues. Okay. So now we begin with the practice. Above the crown of my head, I visualize a white lotus with a moon disk seat. On the moon disk is a white syllable hung, which transforms into a vajra with a hung at its center. White light radiates from this hung, purifying the obscuration of all beings. This light is offered to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The light returns and dissolves into me. The light returns and dissolves into the seed syllable hung. The hung then transformed into Vajrasattva, who is in essence our own kind root lama. Vajrasattva is white in color and holds a vajra and bell. He sits gracefully in the half lotus position. He wears silken robes and all the precious ornaments. So we visualize that he's holding the vajra in his right hand, and he's holding the dilbu, the ganta, the bell, in his left hand at his hip like this. So this is the body position of Vajrasattva. So if you have a bell in Dorje, you're holding it just like this. Now we recite the in Tibet. Chi vor pe kar da ten hung lig le, dorje te war hung san wo cho pe, dro drug drib jang yal cho so ju pa, sa bon la tim yong su kyur pa le. Sawe lama dorje sampakar, dorje jilche kyankum king wei so, ring chan ken chang chalu yong so dog. So now we turn to the offerings, making offerings to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and as they are guests within ourselves, and we are making offerings to the Buddha Vajrasattva that is all within ourselves. And then from their hearts come the blessings that come back into the hung syllable that then goes and radiates through the Vajra mantra, through the mantra, going out to all beings. So the offerings. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Argam Pratitsa Soha. Om Sarva Tadagata Saparivara Padyam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Pushpam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Dupam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara alokam pratitsa soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Gande Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Nuitaya Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Shapta Pratitsa Soha. Vajrasattva, Mahasattva, the great mind, the embodiment of all the Buddhas, the Samantabhadra, Dharmakaya, I prostrate to you, holder of the Vajra. Dorje Sampa, Sampa She, Dorje Deshan, Sepa Kun, Dorje Dengpo, Kuntu Zang, Shaksal Chana, Dorje La O. At Vajrasattva's heart level is a Vajra on a moon disk. At the center of the Vajra is a Hung syllable surrounded by the 100-syllable mantra. The radiating light from the rotating mantra completely purifies the obscurations of all beings, and they become Vajrasattvas. The light returns and dissolves into the mantra of the seed syllable Hung. Nectar produced from these syllables flows through the right great toe of Vajrasattva. It enters the crown of my head, washing out all defilements, illness, and obscurations through the pores of my skin and 2 lower openings of my body. These obscurations leave the body in the form of a smoky, dark liquid. Then I am filled with nectar and completely purified, clear as crystal. Back to Tibet. Dorshem tukor daten dorjeyi, te war kung tor yige korwale, wocho jowe dripa kunjangne, dorje sing pe sala rabkochin. Wozer de taxer du nag trendine, sabon latim de le du sikyon, zabgi te bon le tog dagniki, sen bug ne sug dig drib ne tong sog. Wogyur duku tarbab drusen yum, meten rang lu shall tar dag pagyor. Now the 100-syllable mantra in English. We'll recite 3 times in English. So on page 88, if you prefer, you can use your 101 book. And the reason on the 101 book, if you go to page 8 and 9, you see that the way that the syllables are listed, it's a little bit easier to follow than it might be in this other text. So whichever you prefer is fine. It's the same thing, but I'll just point out that it might be easier. So now we recite in English 3 times. Om Vajrasattva Samaya, help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss of the four joys, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realizations of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. So we are cutting through all duality. We are cutting through all delusion. We are cutting through all dualistic nature, all non-virtue. We're cutting through. Is the syllable of cutting through. Again in English. Om Vajrasattva Sadhana. Help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realization of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Om Vajrasattva Sadhana. Help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realization of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tanopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sruto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Sri Akuru Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Sri Akuru Hong Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tanopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Sri Akuru Hum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Munsa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Munsa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Munsa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Munsa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Munsa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsantriya Kuruhum Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Vajramame Mansa Vajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsame Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ahahaho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsame Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ahahaho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha. Continue to recite, but just listen to me. Visualize Vajrasattva on the crown of your head, and from his big toe on the aperture of Brahma, his white nectar flows from his body into our body, filling our body up with pure white nectar, flushing out, pushing out all the negativity, all the non-virtue out through the lower pores of our skin and out through our two lower apertures, purifying ourselves. And we remain with Vajrasattva in our heart center, the white hung at our heart. So this is the visualization as we're reciting the mantra. And then the light is going round, the syllables are going round the seed syllable, the white hung is going out to all beings, purifying all beings. And we visualize all beings as being Vajrasattva. They themselves may not realize it, but we see the potential of all beings as being pure Vajrasattva. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsame Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ahahaho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsame Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ahahaho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsame Sitsan Shriya Kuruham ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiti Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu me bhava sara siddhi me prayatsa sara karma sutsa me sitsan shriya kuru hong ha 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 ho bhagavan sarata gata bajra mame mansa bajri bhava mahasamaya sattva Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mane Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sarasiddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva Now the dissolution on page 89. I and all sentient beings, deluded by our ignorance, have broken the vows. O Lama Vajrasattva, protector, holder of the Vajra, Lord of all sentient beings, please protect us. Vajrasattva is pleased by our prayers and replies. Your delusions are now cleared away, and you are purified. Vajrasattva then dissolves into light and is absorbed into myself through the top of my head. I then become Vajrasattva. Meditate on the union of appearance and emptiness. In Tibet, Dag Sol Mun Pe Dam Le Gyal Kyu Pe Gom Po Kyab Shik So Wo Dor Jazen Drowe So Wo Da Gi Kyab Zo Chik De Ke So Pe Dor Jam Ge So Gi Jogi Dig Drib Dag Jo So Song Te Dag La Tim Pe Drib Pa Chang Wo Yo. Now meditate. Visualize Vajrasattva dissolving into light. The white light dissolves through the center channel, coming down into your heart center, Vajrasattva being at your heart center, along with the white hung syllable at his heart, now at your heart, and the syllable, the white hung syllable dissolving from the bottom up, becoming invisible into the emptiness, into the shunyata. So we'll do a series of 5-minute meditations. Mind wanders, just bring it back to the visualization of Vajrasattva dissolving, the white hung syllable dissolving. You can watch the breath. Take a deep breath and hold it. Keep your back straight. Exhale. Hold it. Keep your back straight. Breathe in again through both nostrils. Hold the breath as long as you can. Exhale. Hold the breath again. One more cycle. Breathe in through both nostrils. Keep the back straight. Exhale through both nostrils. Stay relaxed. Breathe normal. Keep your back straight. Visualize the dissolution. Catch a glimpse of the mind as it is in shunyata, emptiness. The thought comes in, just let it go. Just pass right through, not holding on to it, letting it go. Come back to the visualization of the light, the home, of the breath. Take a deep breath and hold it. Raise your arms up over your head. Bring your hands together and look up between your hands at the ceiling and stretch your arms, stretch your back, stretch your neck. Exhale, relax your arms. Let your hands come down by your side. Open your eyes and breathe normal. If you want to take a drink, if you want to stand up for a moment, we're going to do another 5-minute meditation. Okay. Sit in a 7-point posture in Vajrasattva as best you can. With your legs crossed as best you can. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe your ankles are crossed. Maybe both feet are flat on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you. If you're sitting on the floor or on a cushion, your legs are crossed. Your back is straight. Your hands are lying in your left hand. Your left hand is with the face up. Your right hand is lying in the left hand, and the two thumbs are touching 4 inches below the navel. You pull your shoulders back, not up. Just pull them back, and it pulls your hands right into your abdomen, 4 inches below the navel. You hold that position. Your back is straight. Your head is just forward just a little bit. You bring your chin down just a little bit. So your neck is just a little bit of an angle, and just like a gallant horse, a mare or a stallion, a gallant horse. And your eyes are open or closed. They're open just to gaze, not looking at anything special, just 4 or 5 feet, 3 feet in front of you, not looking at anything. Your eyes just open just a little bit. If you close your eyes, it reduces the opportunity for distraction. So you can close your eyes in the beginning and maybe open later on, whichever you prefer. And then you're breathing in through both nostrils all the way down to the navel. And you exhale through both nostrils, or you can exhale through your mouth or breathe in through your mouth just slightly open. So your tongue is on the roof of your mouth behind your front teeth, which keeps your mouth moist. So this is the 7-point posture of Vajrasattva. So now we resume the meditation, dissolution, visualizing Vajrasattva dissolving into light. The light dissolves in through the crown of our head to our heart center, the hung syllable at our heart center, rising up from the bottom, becoming invisible into the emptiness. Five-minute meditation, dissolution. Relax. If a thought comes into your mind, just let it go. Let it pass right through, like somebody coming in one door and going out the other. Just letting it go and come back to the mindfulness of the meditation. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale and hold it. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale and hold it. Open your eyes, breathe normal. Now we recite the dedication on the bottom of page 89 in the text. Through the virtue of this practice, may I achieve Vajrasattva's great realization. To this state, may I come to lead every being, not one left behind. Dewa di nor du dai, dorje sampa drub gurne, jowa chike malupa, di sala gopasho. Okay.
Very nice.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Then let's take a break. And on my clock, it says it's 22 past the hour.
1 hour.
So why don't we come back at 45 minutes to the next hour, or to the hour, 45 minutes to the hour, so a quarter of. So we'll have a little break of about 25 minutes or something like that. And then we'll come back. Okay? Thank you, Matt. Anybody have any thoughts or questions you want to talk about before we get started? We're going to do it again. We'll just do the English without the Tibetan parts.
I have a question. Is there, like, within the lineage or tradition I know this is already like probably a shorter condensed sadhana around it, but a way I feel like I did something a very long time ago as part of part of a Nundro type practice with the Vajrasattva, where we could do it. Well, I guess what I'm thinking is, like, if I wanted to do something like as a nightly, like some kind of quick nightly thing, where at the end of the night, like, I'm just probably not going to be able to practice the whole sadhana like we're doing now, but something of, like, bringing to mind, kind of like you were talking about with thinking about like the Eightfold Path at night, but just kind of like going through, like, here's the ways I kind of was sticking with the path, here's some of the non-virtues in the evening, and then some kind of very short type of thing, maybe recite the mantra a few times. Is there something like that is part of the tradition, or would recommend, or maybe not so much?
Well, you can organize your own. I mean, with these different practices that we've been doing, Green Tara and Shenreizig and so on, Vajrasattva. So whatever you wanted to do, yes, you could organize your own and maybe just do 2 or 3 mantras if you wanted to do that, say 25 recitations of each, something like that. So that's all fine. If you want to talk about that sometime, and we can put together something, but you should do the opening prayers. You should recite at least the refuge prayer, the 4 immeasurables, and then one of these prayers if you wanted to do. So what do you think about that?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And would certainly want to do, like, more full practice, like in the morning. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
So there is a prayer that I like to recite at night before I go to bed. That is very good. Actually, I've got 3 or 4 prayers that I like to do, and so we can go over that sometime if you think that that would be helpful. So one of them is a dream yoga prayer, so that's very helpful. Another thing that's very helpful is a few weeks ago I sent the teaching of the samadhi. So if you look back in our WhatsApp, you'll see that I sent that maybe a month ago or something. I can send it to you again. So there's a number of things that we can do, but the point is you can make your own, you can organize your own evening prayers if you like.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Lance.
You're welcome.
I've started doing I'm attempting to do the King of Aspiration prayer once a day. I'm trying to find some time alone and do that and read.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
I know that you mentioned that you did that yourself. I think you said you did it for a year.
Every day.
And so I've started doing that, and I can't think of any reason why I can't find the time to do it. And so I am doing it.
Good. Yeah. No.
And actually reading it, you said not to just read it, but read it out loud.
Correct.
Yes. So I'm aspiring to do that.
Well, good. Well, I wish that you actualize your aspiration.
Thank
And that the fruition shall grow like vines through your hair.
My hair is in bad enough shape, so
Well, now you'll have the vines of the fruition of the prayer. All right. Anybody else have any comments, questions?
I have one other thing real quick if you have time, if you have any advice. I find it's very hard for me to do the mantra and some kind of visualization simultaneously. I don't know if you have any thoughts or advice. Maybe I'm just not familiar enough with the practice or something of doing it, but
Yes, more practice. Yeah, that's why we call it practice. I mean, my goodness, we've only been doing this 2 or 3 times, and so there's not going to be any big changes here. But after you do it for, a year, suddenly things start happening and so on. And really, this is what the Nunjo practices are for, to establish that routine of doing this every day and so on. And then you move into doing the deity yoga practices and so on. So, yeah. This is a lifestyle. Whereas, maybe in years past, our lifestyle included, well, we would get up in the morning and we drink our coffee and drag ourselves to work. And then on the way home from work, we'd put ourselves in a bar and have a few beers or something, and then come home and eventually watch some TV and pass out and then start over again. That was our ritual. So now we have a new lifestyle that includes doing prayers and practices.
What do you say to people who ask if it's a religion?
Well, it's the true definition of a religion is our relationship to a supreme being. So we're not thinking of the Buddha as a supreme being. We're thinking of the Buddha as being within ourselves. It's a philosophy of liberating ourselves from attachments and aversions and how we do that and so on. And what we become is we become a holy person in the process of doing that. So that can be construed as being religious, but it's not in terms of creating a cult that we are, praying to some supreme being who is going to liberate us. We liberate ourselves.
Of course. Thank you. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Zara, did you want to say something? You've got your microphone unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually just going to say you were talking about the visualizations and seeing ourselves. And I was going to, and you always say like it comes after time and practice, repetition. So Gary, one thing like that I recently started doing, and Lance and I talked about this in Medicine Buddha, the Action Bodhicitta prayer. I actually started seeing myself as I was doing the meditation, not my own personal one, as I was like becoming really embodying that, right? Like, and that just now happened in the last probably month, right? Where I've had a shift in my own meditation cycles, where I can see myself truly as this different spiritual being. Like there's Zara, and then I see myself evolving during the meditation as I'm like the action portion of me becoming something that is doing goodness. So that just happened for me in the last 30 days, going to Lance's point about repetition and just doing it. And then all of a sudden it's like your body wakes up. It's like, there you are. There's that other Gary, the warrior. There's Gary the human, and then Gary the warrior. It's kind of cool.
Yes.
Thank you. Very good. It's always good to have personal testimony.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, for me, it's real. This is real for me. It's kind of like Harry Potter. It's like, it's real for us. Harry Potter is real for me as well. So is Santa Claus. Are we recording this yet? Sorry.
We'll edit this part out, Zara.
Is it funny how laughter is contagious?
Yes. Laughter.
Very interesting.
Mark says laughter is contagious. Yes. All right, well then let's begin, do this practice again. So we'll start on page, we'll start on page 5. We'll start with the refuge prayer, the short refuge prayer. So we'll recite that, and then we will recite the 4 immeasurables, and then we'll go to page 85 for the visualization. So this is the short version of doing any practice. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye chodang soki chodamwa shangju baidu dagni kapsuchi dagi jinsoki pe sonamgi drola penshir sangye drupasho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Manam kadam yam pesam chantam she dewadang dewe gurdang dembar jurchi. Dagnal dang donal gi gudang drawa jorchi. Dagnal me pe dewa dang mi drawa jorchi. Ne ring jagdang mi dang drawe Tang Namla Nepa Georgi. And then we can go to either page 11 in the 101 book or page 10 in the Deity Yoga book, if you have that. And we just recite the last verse of the seven limb prayer, because it is a summary of the seven limb prayer. So we recite that in English. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Chaksa wadang choching sapadang, Jesu yi rang kol sing so wa yi, ke wa jung se da gi ji sak pa, tam se zok pe shang shub no. And then we go to the visualization, page 85 of Vajrasattva practice now. So we start just with the visualization, and this, only in English is necessary. Above the crown of my head, I visualize a white lotus with a moon disk seat. On the moon disk is a white syllable hung, which transforms into a vajra with a hung in its center. White light radiates from this hung, purifying the obscurations of all beings. This light is offered to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The light returns and dissolves into the seed syllable hung. The hung then transforms into Vajrasattva, which is in essence our own kind root lama. Vajrasattva is white in color and holds a vajra and bell. He sits gracefully in the half-lotus posture position, and he wears silken robes with all the precious ornaments. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Argam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Padyam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Pushpam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Dupam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Alokam Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Gande Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Nuitya Pratitsa Soha. Om Vajrasattva Saparivara Shapta Pratitsa Soha. Vajrasattva Mahasattva, the great mind, the embodiment of all the Buddhas, the seventh Vajra Dharmakaya, I prostrate to you, holder of the Vajra. Dorje Sampa Sampa She, Dorje Deshin Sakpa Kun, Dorje Dengpo Kun Tu Zang, Chak Sao Chana Dorje Lao. At Vajrasattva's heart level is a Vajra on a moon disk. At the center of the Vajra is a hung syllable surrounded by the 100-syllable mantra. The radiating light from the rotating mantra completely purifies the obscurations of all beings, and they become Vajrasattvas. The light returns and dissolves into the mantra of the seed syllable hum. Nectar produced from these syllables flows through the right great toe of Vajrasattva. It enters the crown of my head, washing out all defilements, illnesses, and obscurations through the pores of my skin and the two lower openings of my body. These obscurations leave the body in the form of a smoky, dark liquid. Then I am filled with nectar and completely purified, clear as crystal. Om Vajrasattva Sadhana, help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my heart mind good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss of the four joys, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realizations of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Ah. Om Vajrasattva Sadhana, help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss of the four joys, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realizations of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Ah. Om Vajrasattva Sadhana, help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss of the four joys, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realization of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Ah. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Drista Dredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sara Tadagata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Justadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Tristadredo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavat, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Tristadredo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Justadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sutsame, Sitsantriya kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra mame mansa, Bajri bhava, Mahasamaya satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tenopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sutsa Me, Sitsan Shriya Kuruham, Ha 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 ho Bhagavan, Sara Tada Gata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tata Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Sutokayo Me Bhava Supokayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sitsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sara Tada Gata Bajra Mame Mansa Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satvaha Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manu Palaya Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Swara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Sattva, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sutsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruham, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sutsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Maha Samaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo Me Bhava, Sutokayo Me Bhava, Supokayo Me Bhava, Anuraktu Me Bhava, Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa, Sara Karma Sitsame, Sitsan Shriyakuruhong, Ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajrama Me Mansa, Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Sattvaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha, Samaya Sadwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tenopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya, Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tenopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha, Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manu Palaya, Vajrasattva Tanopa, Dristadredo me bhava, Sutokayo me bhava, Supokayo me bhava, Anuraktu me bhava, Sara siddhi me prayatsa, Sara karma sitsame, Sitsan Sriyakuruham, ha 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 ho, Bhagavan, Sara Tadagata, Bajra Mame Mansa, Bajri Baba Maha Samaya Satwaha. Dissolution. I and all sentient beings, deluded by our ignorance, have broken the vows. O Lama Vajrasattva, protector, holder of the Vajra, Lord of all sentient beings, please protect us. Vajrasattva is pleased by our prayers and replies, your delusions are now cleared away and you are purified. Vajrasattva then dissolves into light and is absorbed into myself through the top of my head. I then become Vajrasattva. Meditate on the union of appearance and emptiness. Now we'll do 5-minute meditation. Visualize the dissolution. Vajrasattva sitting on the crown of our head, dissolving into light. And the light dissolves through the crown of our head into our heart center. The hung syllable of Vajrasattva's heart, at our heart, rising from the bottom to the nada string at the top, dissolving into light, becoming invisible into the emptiness. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale and hold it. Open your eyes. Breathe normal. Maybe twist around. Stand up if you need. All different ways to take a short break in between the meditation sessions. Okay, we begin again. Maintain the 7-point posture of Varanchana as best you can. The most important feature is to keep your back straight. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale. Relax. Breathe at your own pace. Thoughts come in, just let them go. Visualize a flame, the nada string at the top of the hung syllable. Burning, burning, flickering, flickering. Till it becomes invisible. Thought arises, just let it go. Bring it back to the nada string, the flame flickering, becoming invisible over and over again. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale. Open your eyes. Stretch a little bit. Maybe each of these 5-minute sessions seem to be easier, quicker, more relaxing, more emptiness is recognized. If not, it's a process. It just takes time, diligence to keep at the practice. And slowly but surely improvement comes. Okay. One more 5-minute practice. A meditation dissolution. Visualizing white light in our heart center from the Vajra. The Vajra rises from the bottom to the top, becoming invisible. The very top is a white flame flickering, fading into the emptiness. And take a deep breath. Exhale. Breathe normal. Open your eyes. The dedication. Through the virtue of this practice, may I achieve Vajrasattva's great realization. To this state may I come to lead every being, not one left behind. Dewa di nor dudai, dorje sampa jubyane, jowa jikyang malupa, iyi salago pasho. So then we do our dedications. So we can go to page 157 in the Deity Yoga book, or in the 101 book, page 18, 19. The Kagyu lineage dedication prayer. Dorje Chang, Talopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dormalor Gampopa, Bagmajupa, and Lord Kumpa. Please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessing of all the Kagyu Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion, may all who travel in the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate word of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Trikumpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Om, Ah, Om. Om, Ah, Om. Om, Ah, Om. May my body, speech, and mind become inseparable with the body, speech, and mind of all the enlightened ones for the benefit of all sentient beings. Very good. Thank you very much for being here. Yes, thank you. How was this second session? Was this any different than the first session? Karina?
Just without Tibetan language. No, like what we are do without Tibetan language. This is only different.
Was it different for you in terms of your experience? Did you was it a better meditation for you?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. Gary?
Well, every practice is good, and every practice represents growth. So it was good for me in that way.
Okay, good. I don't know if you noticed, but for myself, it's very easy to get into bad habits and doing recitations. So I realized I was kind of rushing things and kind of not doing things as well as I should. So I started using the book and try and get the pronunciation of every single syllable properly and so on. It's not perfect, but sometimes you realize that you get into a little bit of a bad habit, so you just go back and you have to discipline yourself to try and do it properly. So we don't want to do it too fast when we do the recitation of the mantras. We don't want to do it too fast, too slow. We don't want to do it without understanding the meaning. We don't want to be agitated when we do it. We want to do it properly. So it's important to remember that and try and do it so that when you're with a group, everybody's doing it together. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comment?
It was a beautiful practice. I greatly appreciate it, Lance. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Gavin. Thank you very much. Okay. Well, thank you. Next week we're going to start looking at the 5 Buddha families. So we haven't talked about that really at all for a long time. So it's going to be very good. So I look forward to seeing you all next time when we talk about that and doing the visualization of the mandala of the 5 Buddha families. See you all tomorrow evening. We go back to the jewel ornament of liberation.
Thank you, Lance.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Lance.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Lance. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Have an amazing, wonderful